Hey everyone, it's Hans, and welcome back. So when it comes to games and other forms of entertainment media, more often than not, most people focus on the visuals, whether it's the latest high-end graphics in a video game or really cool sci-fi effects in the latest TV series. More often than not, that is what people focus on. However, I'm of the opinion that audio, for most parts, is actually more important than the visual elements. And this is why I believe that everyone should have really good audio equipment when playing video games or consuming entertainment media. Which is why today I'm going to be speaking about Logitech's brand new Logitech G Pro X headset. The Logitech G Pro X headset is the current top-of-the-range headset in the Logitech G line. There are actually two versions of the headset. There is the Logitech G Pro, which comes in at $100 or 1,900 Rand, and then this Logitech G Pro X, which comes in at $125 or 2,500 Rand. But I do understand that the only difference between the two of them is that the G Pro X comes with the Blue Voice software, whereas the G Pro doesn't. For this video, however, I'll be focusing on the Logitech G Pro X and whether or not it's worth your moolah. So let's find out. At first glance, the packaging for the Logitech G Pro X headset is rather understated, which is quite an interesting take given how this headset is aimed at gamers. And with that in mind, normally most manufacturers often make their products look somewhat gaudy, both in packaging and sometimes the products themselves. Logitech, however, have gone for a very sophisticated look for the Logitech G Pro X series. And in this regard, it's quite a nice, simple box with the image of the product on the front, and on the back, a simple overview of the main highlights of the Logitech G Pro X. There is also the standard regulatory information on the side of the box, including everything that the headset comes with. And speaking of, the Logitech G Pro X actually comes with a fair amount of accessories. So first and foremost, we have the headset itself, which in my personal opinion is beautiful. Unlike a lot of other gaming hardware out there, the G Pro X is really understated, and I love that about it. It comes in a beautiful leatherette finish for the headband, accompanied by wonderful aluminium side pieces which connect directly to the ear cups. And if you look closer, you'll notice that each of the ear cups also have these really cool cable-like coils, which give the headset a very retro look while still looking modern. I also really like what they've done with the Logitech G logo and how it's on each of the cups of the headset, but in a wonderful sort of silver finish. In terms of the aluminium design, it works really well and allows the headset to extend to, I guess, most head sizes. The actual headset itself only has two ports, one for microphone and the other for whatever cable you connect it to. In terms of cable connections, Logitech have been pretty generous in this regard and have included quite a few. So for a start, there's a dedicated mobile cable, which is an interesting choice given how a lot of mobile devices nowadays no longer have headphone ports. Either way, it's a really cool addition from Logitech. This cable also includes a dedicated answer and put down switch and dedicated microphone. The cable itself is made out of a generally nice feeling plastic, although I would have preferred it to be braided. Speaking of braided cables, I'm happy to report that the second cable, the one that I think most people will actually use, which is the PC and game console cable, is braided, and it also includes a wonderful mute switch as well as a volume rocker, which is perfect for online gaming. Logitech were also kind enough to include a PC splitter cable, one which is also braided. Other than the cables, there is also a USB DAC that is included with the G Pro X and a removable microphone. And this microphone apparently uses the new Blue Voice technologies. However, I eventually found out that it was actually only software driven and there isn't actually any Blue hardware built into the G Pro X, which is somewhat disappointing, but given that it's a first generation Blue Voice device, we can give them the benefit of a doubt as to why the hardware wasn't included. And I will get into the audio capabilities in terms of software a little bit later on in the video. Cables and connectivity aside, the G Pro X does come with 2 sets of ear cups. The default is the memory foam cloth variant, but there is also a memory foam leatherette variant. And of the two, I can personally say that I prefer the leatherette version. In terms of left-right designation, these are within the ear cups themselves. Given all of the accessories that the G Pro X comes with, you'll be happy to know that Logitech have also included a memory foam bag. And it serves its purpose. It's a really great soft bag where you can just throw everything in and go about your day. The G Pro X headset is really sturdy, and it's honestly one of my favorite aspects of the headset. Despite the sturdy aluminium construction, it still has wonderful give, where you can turn it and twist it and not have to worry about it being bent out of shape. With that said, something that I have noticed where it does differ to a lot of Logitech's previous headsets is that the ear cups do not rotate 90 degrees. So it is something to consider when you do have your headset around your neck, how it doesn't turn down, or if you do put it down on the table or something to that effect. As great as the G Pro X looks, I also find it to be incredibly comfortable, especially when using the leatherette pads for the ear covers. However, what if you have spectacles? What if you use glasses in a day-to-day life? Like, what is this headset like? Now, although I don't use spectacles, I do have sunnies, which I'll put on now, and I can say that overall, the actual spacing is pretty good. Now, although I don't use spectacles, I did actually do this for a while. I wore this setup for about an hour just to see what it was like. And I'm happy to say, it's still comfortable. So if you have spectacles, or perhaps you like to wear sunnies while you're gaming, you'll be happy to know that the G Pro X allows you to do it without any issues. Something else that I really like about the Logitech G Pro X is that because the microphone is removable, you can just use the headset as is for music or any other form of media without having a mic popping out and bothering you that you can't take out or put away. And that is definitely a positive in terms of this headset. Speaking of the microphone, it can be moved around to your liking, whether it's closer to your mouth or perhaps further away, or maybe even completely out of the way when not being used. The choice is yours, and I quite like that about it. So what does the microphone sound like? Given how Logitech purchased Blue Voice, the company behind the infamous Blue Yeti microphone, which I actually use to record podcasts on, it stands to reason that the G Pro X would have exceptional microphone audio. And to an extent it does, but it's more software driven than it is hardware. In terms of software, the Logitech G Hub is the central portal through which all of Logitech G's products communicate, whether that's a Logitech 4K Brio webcam or the G815 keyboard, and now the Logitech G Pro X headset. This is the piece of software that you must install, whether on Windows or Mac, in order to really take advantage of your Logitech G products. In terms of the G Pro X headset, this is the software that you'll have to use along with the included USB DAC in order to have 7.1 or 5.1 DTX surround sound profiles, as well as the Blue Voice technology for the microphone. I must also mention that this is the only differentiating factor between the G Pro and the G Pro X, where the X has the Blue Voice software. Once you have G Hub installed and you've been connected your headset via USB, you'll note that it'll pop up within the G Hub software. Simply clicking on the headset will take you to all of the relevant options for the G Pro X, one of which is the microphone, and most likely the most important part of this package, specifically because of the Blue Voice technology. So right now, as I'm speaking, the Blue Voice is inactive, and this is what the microphone sounds like generally. So this is technically the audio quality that most people will receive if using the G Pro X directly in a computer without the USB DAC, or on Xbox or PlayStation or even Nintendo Switch. However, if you are on PC, you will have the option of enabling the Blue Voice, and all you have to do is simply click in the G Hub software, and presto, all of a sudden you now have greater control over how your voice sounds when you are using the microphone on PC or Mac, and specifically when it comes to online gaming. Now, what's nice about the G-Hub software as well in this regard is that they give you a variety of filters and presets that you can use to make your voice sound different. Now, I have gone through a fair amount of them, and I have found that I do like the broadcaster ones. I find that the audio is clear and it just sounds very good overall. Now, of course, the nice thing about the software is that you can adjust them to your liking and you can make your voice sound far more bassy than it is, or maybe you can put the treble up. However you like to do it, the options are available within the software. In addition to the different filters and presets, there are also advanced Blue voice controls, which allow access to things like a de-esser, noise filters, pop filtering, limiters, noise gates, and these are all pro audio technologies, and I really like the fact that these are included within the software and that they can be used to make you sound a lot better when using the software in conjunction with the G Pro X. Another cool aspect of the Logitech G Hub and the G Pro X is that it even allows you to record an audio sample using the headset's microphone and play it back so you know what you sound like. I really dig that element. It really allows you to fine-tune exactly what your voice sounds like when using the software in conjunction with the hardware. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a Windows machine at the moment, but when I did, there was a third option in the G-Hub software, which actually alludes to 7.1 and 5.1 audio profiles specifically for video games. However, I must admit that they weren't that great, and this is definitely something that Logitech needs to work on when it comes to their headsets, because overall, these things are fantastic, and I'm assuming a lot of the audio technology in these comes with Logitech's work with Ultimate Ears, their brand of portable speakers which have excellent audio quality. So from that perspective, they just need to enhance the surround sound capabilities of the headsets through the software for both Windows and Mac. However, if you are a Windows gamer, you should have access to Windows Sonic, so from that perspective you're good. And if you're an Xbox gamer, you'll also have access to Dolby Atmos, which really is phenomenal, and I have used it primarily with this headset on my Xbox One, and the sound is stellar. Of course, your mileage will vary depending on if you're playing on console, with a mobile device, or if you're playing on PC. And the reason for this is because natively, the G Pro X doesn't support 7.1 or 5.1 surround sound. For all intents and purposes, the G Pro X is a stereo headset, so therefore the surround sound capabilities of the headset are purely software based. Now, with that in mind, I will say that it performed incredibly well when I use it on my PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, specifically on the Xbox. And this is because the Xbox has Dolby Atmos support as well as Windows Sonic. And when enabling either of those software packages, the immersive capabilities of the headset really begin to shine. And this is because of Logitech's brand new 50mm drivers that the G Pro X includes. So in terms of audio performance, the G Pro X will 100% satisfy. It has very good lows, great mids, and decent highs. In terms of the lows, they're not so bassy that they drown out the mids and highs, and this is something I actually really enjoyed about the headset because it gives a very good overall soundstage. Now, with that said, the soundstage itself also feels very intimate when wearing this headset, and that is also something that can vary depending on if you're using the cloth ear pad or the leatherette one. With those in mind, I found that the leatherette ear pads offer a much better closed soundstage, whereas the cloth one allows sounds to come in or escape a little bit more than the leatherette one. So from those two perspectives, the leatherette, in my opinion, is the winner. I would also like to mention that I have small ears, so more often than not when I'm busy using a headset, my ears will fit within the actual space within a cup. Now, I found that with the G Pro X, when I use the cloth ear pad, I would become a little bit uncomfortable after about an hour or 2 hours of gameplay. And this is due to the fact that my ears actually fit within the pad, but in terms of the cloth one, they sort of just slightly lean on my ears, therefore making them uncomfortable. However, the leatherette pads are somewhat bigger when it comes to the actual drum size, thus allowing my ears to fit in perfectly without any issue. And when I switched to the leatherette ones, I found that I could go for hours and hours and hours of gaming without any issues. And that is also something that is interesting to me because the G Pro X headset is quite heavy. It's actually a dense device. However, when you have it on, you can barely feel it. So although it might seem a little bit weighty because of its aluminium construction, I have found it to be supremely comfortable, especially when using the leatherette ear cuffs. So I've been using the Logitech G Pro X as my daily driver for a couple of months now. It is actually the only headset I own at the moment, and this is because everything else I had was stolen, including this headset that I have right here, yeah. For those of you who might not know, you can check one of my previous videos where I go into what happened to myself and my family, but this is one of the products that were actually stolen from my home and the police managed to recover it. So I'd also like to therefore commend Logitech for really building something very sturdy when it comes to headset design and quality. I mean, this thing's been through the ringer. I mean, not only did they totally ransack the house and then take the headset, which went for a joyride in my car, which they also stole, but when it was recovered, it looked near perfect. And I know from what I understand from what the police said that it wasn't very well treated. None of the items that were stolen were. So kudos Logitech for building a product that not only looks and sounds good, but will actually stand the test of time or being stolen. So yeah, overall, I've been really impressed with the Logitech G Pro X. Although I do wish that there would be a wireless version, I do understand why there is a wired one, and that would be the only real negative that I do have for this headset. Other than that, I really like it, and I do hope that it'll continue to be my headset for the foreseeable future. If you like this video, you know what to do, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Ciao for now.